The Brian Gould Show features content from the internet and current events throughout the world. All photos, videos, names, and other content is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't fall asleep. It's rude.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of the Brian Gould Show. I am your host, Brian Gould, along with
Joe. I won an alphabet game last week, but lost in the Superbowl. Cool.
Yes, that's right. You saw the big dog just getting knocked out or tap out to the little dog, and that's how the Super Bowl went, more or less, last night. It was not an upset seeing Carolina lose to Denver. I called it. I didn't ever have the faith, and I didn't ever believe that Carolina was just that good. They actually met a defense that was excellent.
Carolina's luck ran out.
Yes, they got hot at the right time, which was pretty much all season, but they just weren't ever that good. I'm sorry.
It was a pretty boring game, too.
It was a defensive game, and it was proven that Carolina wasn't that good, not only by losing the Super Bowl, but by giving up all those points they did in the second half to Seattle.
But here's the point I'm trying to make, Brian. You said Carolina wasn't that good, okay? Last night, Carolina's defense, Peyton didn't put up any extraordinary points.
Nope.
So Carolina didn't really play. They gave the ball away a few times, and a couple calls went against them. But all in all, they didn't play that badly.
Nobody played horrible, but nobody played spectacular. It was just a boring game.
I think if Carolina's offense would have shown any kind of light, they were in the game for 3/4 of the whole game.
Yeah, well, again, it was a defensive battle, and Carolina proved me right. They are not that good. And thank you, Christian. All those debt bets that I've owed you over the last couple weeks throughout the playoffs are now off the table. So
wow,
that glass of Guinness is on you and not me. So now that the Super Bowl's done, of course, the big talk is, will Peyton Manning retire? And if he does, when is he going to announce it? What do you think?
I think next week.
It might be the end of this week. I don't know. It might be by the end of the month.
He said last night he wasn't going to make any emotional decisions, but what's left for him, really? He comes back, he wins another Super Bowl. Is it going to add to his legacy? He doesn't need anything to add to his legacy.
No, he's done it all. MVP, Super Bowl rings now. And plus, Brock sitting on the bench behind him actually showed that he could pull that team through. And they've got a new head coach, so a nice young quarterback with a new system that works. I think with Peyton retiring, they're still one of the best teams in the NFL.
Will they be as good with Brock?
I think so.
Do you?
Nothing changes except for the quarterback, and he's, again, it's coaching in a system, and he's a throwing quarterback just like Peyton. And will they go 13-3 under Brock? Probably not, but they'll definitely be one of the top teams in the AFC.
Will they still make the playoffs?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You think so?
That defense isn't going anywhere.
I'll be honest. Up until last year, or this year, I should say, I've never even heard of Brock Osweiler.
Well, Peyton's not sat the bench in a long time either, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But there we go. Super Bowl's done.
Pick somebody for next year.
Couldn't. Forget it. Jeez. The halftime show wasn't bad. I thought they did pretty good, bringing Beyonce and Bruno Mars in there with Coldplay, and just kind of how they did a reflection on the good halftime shows over the years. They kind of intertwined that in. They did pretty good.
If you're Coldplay, are you angry that they did that? Because Beyonce, let's face it, she outshines everybody when she's out there. That's her show.
I thought it was pretty balanced for the most part. I really did. Coldplay by themselves, probably that show would have tanked. I'm not a big Coldplay guy.
I can't tell you 2 songs that they have.
Well,
out.
it's not one of those things like I hear them come on the radio and I hurry up and turn the station. I'll just leave it on. I'm not turning up the music to sing to it, but as Coldplay's not bad. Beyonce's not bad, and Bruno Mars, I like Bruno Mars.
Oh, Bruno Mars is phenomenal.
Yeah. Good halftime show, and
another player retiring from the NFL, it looks like. Marshawn Lynch.
oh, who cares?
You don't like him?
He was a stud in his day and still could be one heck of a player, but
You don't like him because of his attitude? He doesn't like talking to the press?
I think he's got the right attitude towards the press. The fact that they've got contractual obligations to speak to the press, win or lose, is kind of stupid, and that the league fines you for it. And yeah, you're a celebrity football player, and that's what comes with it. But there's certain aspects of it that the media are just
Vicious.
brutal and vicious. Yeah, I don't blame them.
Now, I showed you a video before we went on air, Cam Newton, and everybody's up in arms over it. They showed Cam Newton doing a post-game interview
And
from
walked
last
off.
night and walked off, and he was giving short little answers like yes or no, and people are up in arms over it. If I just lost the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even want to speak to anybody.
No, and that's a perfect example of Marshawn Lynch. When you're losing big games, that's the last thing you want to do is have to answer a bunch of stupid questions. So how does it feel? It sucks.
Right.
Do you think you'll be back in the playoffs next? Well, of course. That's what they're paid to do. You know, quit asking the dumb, obvious.
If somebody asked me
questions.
that, if they ask me how does it feel, I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty obvious. But people are jumping on him. You know, he's 26 years old. He has a bright future. He's making millions of dollars. You know, give the guy a break.
Like I said a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Carolina, if Cam gets there a couple more times in the next handful of years to the big game, the Super Bowl, then yeah, he goes down as one of the greater quarterbacks. But I just
he still has a lot to prove.
to see him rattled the way that he was, it's either going to do one of two things for him. He's going to come out super hungry and strong next season, which I'll anticipate that he will, or he's going to come out so headstrong that he's going to make too many mistakes. And I wouldn't doubt to see that come true.
I mean, he's young, 26 years old. Go back to when? Can you think back that far? I can't.
It's been a minute for me.
I mean, when I was 26 years old, if I was in that situation, are you kidding me? I mean,
I don't blame him for being mad. I really don't.
no, you can't.
I'm Carolina
blame anybody.
hating a little bit because I don't think they were that great. I don't think they were all season long, and they're the best team in their division and their conference right now. So until they get dethroned, they are the best team. But I don't think they're that good.
People handle losses differently. You know, if Peyton had lost, Peyton probably would have been more gracious. But that's Peyton. You know, Peyton's a lot older and a lot wiser and been around
the Super
a lot.
Bowl a couple times already, so he knows how to react to that.
Right.
Yeah. And you were right on the Weidman suspension.
Yeah, 20 games.
20 games.
20 games. You can't hit a referee
No, you can't.
and not expect
It's coming.
to go unpunished.
Yeah, it's coming.
I liked his the reasoning. He said he was groggy from the hit that he took.
Yeah, because he confused the referee's jersey for the visiting team's jersey. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That reminds me of some boxing matches that I've seen where a boxer would be so hurt from getting hit that he'll hit the referee.
Well, how about that MMA video that we opened up with? Man, that the small guy, I say small, he was 165 pounds, and the big guy was over 600 pounds. Now that that footage was taken in Japan, and you can find it on YouTube. I'll put a link up in the description. You can watch the whole fight. It's only about 8-9 minutes long, and talk about knockout. Like the big guy tapped out. That's why at the end there it suddenly stopped, as the smaller guy was bouncing his head like a drum, and then the big guy tapped out.
The big guy was beating the daylights out of that little guy, though.
He was smothering him.
No, he beat the daylights out of him. His eyes were 3/4 of the way swollen shut.
Oh, jeez. Can never escape an episode without at least one comment.
To all my Asian friends, I apologize.
Yeah. Do you have any?
I had one. I don't know after this video he might be gone.
So I want to bump up to a kind of a serious topic here. Recently, a news story broke out about a father and daughter. They were in a park, and they were having some drinks. They were drinking, just kind of hanging out. And these 5 guys walked up on them, and one of them pulled a gun out on the dad, told the dad to get lost, and unfortunately the girl got raped. The dad went and got the police, but it took him 20 minutes to come back with the police. Now, I don't know if he was drunk, buzzed, whatever. The daughter was only 18, I think, so she was underage drinking. But 4 out of the 5 kids that were involved in the rape actually got caught. 3 of those 4 that were caught, their parents turned them in.
Wow.
Yeah. Now this is what I want to talk about, is sending your kid to jail for a crime. Now, obviously, if I knew my son had raped someone, that's a no-brainer. Like, hands down, like you got to do some time. You're doing, you know, that's horrible. Now, my son or any of my daughters come home and say, Dad, I stole this shirt from whatever place because it was the in thing. Are you calling the cops and turning your kid in? Are you calling the store and turning your kid in? Would you turn your kid in for theft?
I would make my kid go back to that store and give back what he stole.
Okay, what about...
Or pay for it and make everything right.
Right. I guess, it sounds...
Stealing, I don't want to say isn't causing any bodily harm to somebody.
Right. Because these kids that did this to this girl, they permanently altered someone's life.
I would even call them kids. They're animals. They're animals.
They altered someone's life.
Absolutely.
2 lives, really. The father as well, because the father has to feel like crap that it happened. But I guess where I'm going with this is, bottom line, I guess realistically there is a scale that you would use on whether you would turn your kid in and send him away to jail or prison versus not making that phone call.
I've heard people say if his kid murdered somebody, he still wouldn't turn him in.
You wouldn't rat your kid out?
No, I would.
Not for murder?
I would.
You would?
I'd turn my kid in for murder.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What if he robbed a bank underneath a mask, couldn't be identified, and he came to you and Dad, he pulls out this duffel bag full of cash?
I'd ask him to split it up.
Okay. So murder, you'd send him to jail. Rape, you would. Stealing from a store, you'd make him just take the merchandise back.
Correct.
Robbing a bank, you would have him split it with you.
As long as he didn't hurt anybody while robbing the bank. He didn't shoot anybody.
So that's the bottom line right there. As long as there's no physical harm to anybody.
I can understand robbing a bank would traumatize somebody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel good about it. I'd feel like I failed as a parent.
Right.
Something sounds fishy with that story. What's a father doing drinking in a park with their 18-year-old daughter?
Hanging out, whatever the case may be with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. No woman deserves to be raped.
No.
But the father should use more common sense.
Well, it's not expected. Whether you're sitting on a park bench, sitting in a booth in a bar, or sitting on the couch at home, realistically, that scenario could happen in all 3 cases. But it's not expected.
Okay, you being a father and you have a daughter, if somebody pulled out a gun on you and said, "Get lost," would you leave? Or
shoot me. Pull the trigger.
You'd have to.
I dare you.
Yeah.
Because you know what's going to happen? That gun's going to go off. Okay, if it's loaded and they legit pull the trigger, that gun's going to go off, and it's going to be loud, and it's going to bring attention to that area. And guess what you're not doing is touching my daughter. You're running after you pull that trigger. Now,
you leave, your daughter, definitely something's going to happen to your daughter. They're not there just to talk to her without you.
Right.
Right. Some kind of harm is going to happen,
Right.
I'd stay and fight tooth and nail.
Yeah. No, pull the trigger. I dare you.
Yep.
Yep. If you think you're man enough to do what you're about to do with me leaving, then pull the trigger. And again, touchy subject for a couple of my friends. It all falls back on the general public having access to guns again, and just stupid.
But if you're allowed to carry a gun and you're that father, you can pull out your gun and protect.
And then you're getting into the wild, wild west situation. You shoot your gun, I shoot my gun. I hate guns.
Unfortunately, that's how it is.
I hate guns. No,
I do too.
If you're pardon the French, if you're Billy Badass to carry that gun, then pull the trigger or set it down and let's tumble, let's rumble. 5-on-1, bring it.
Yeah.
Yep, bring it. Because while they're taking care of me, my daughter's running.
I just think something's fishy about that story.
Well, regardless, where I was going with it is would you send your kid to jail? And for what crimes would you send your kid to jail? If
murder, yes.
Yeah.
Rape, yes. Stealing something, no.
What about a car?
If he stole a car?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't keep it, obviously.
No, you can't keep it.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, if Mia, Maya, Eva, or Leo, all four of my kids, any of them, if pulled up in the driveway and I was like, "Hey, Dad, check this out," or trying to be sneaky about it, well, whose car is that? You know, sneaky or not, I just say, you know what, we're going around the corner to the grocery store, we're parking that car, throwing the keys up in the visor, and leaving it, and we're coming home.
That's a good way to handle it.
And you ever do that again, I will snap your hands off right at the wrist.
They used to have a show, and I don't know if they still have it, going back in my day. It used to be called Scared Straight.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
They used to take the kids to jail and show them what it was like in jail. And the inmates would yell at the kids and get them crying.
They still have versions and variations of that now. But
I think that's a good deterrent to some of these kids.
Yeah.
You know, they think going to jail, some of these kids think going to jail is a badge of honor. You know, they get their cred, and I don't get it.
It makes them tough.
Yeah, I'm all for public hangings and stuff.
Whoa, I don't know about that. Did you see where that public, or I shouldn't even say public, it was a execution that went wrong, and the guy ended up like living through the lethal injection. It didn't kill him the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, that.
Now, if I'll go back to what I said about public hangings. If you see somebody getting punished for a crime, would that make you think twice about doing something like that?
Right. You know what? If I recall, there's only a handful of states, I want to say like 5 to 7 states, maybe 8 or 9, that still have that as a form of execution that they can use, but they obviously don't.
In a firing squad.
Yeah, that's still available in a couple states too.
Well, how would you go?
Wow. The electric chair, no thanks. I would have to settle with the lethal injection.
Yeah, that's the way I would go.
Puts you to sleep and then shuts everything down, so you essentially don't feel it. But man, I dot my I's and cross my T's. I never have to go that. Don't ever want to.
No, thank you.
So, guys, leave a comment or shoot me a message and let me know your thoughts and opinions on sending your kid or kids to jail for crimes. If we missed anything there, be interesting to hear back from some people.
What about weed? Smoking weed?
Come on.
Or dealing?
Dealing weed or dealing drugs? Now, weed's all but almost legal.
So you can't turn down for that.
But like heroin and crack and everything else, the stuff that kills people, that really gets them hooked gets them hooked and addicted. If I found out my kid was a drug dealer, I just whip my kid's tail myself. Forget sending you to jail. Jail would be a benefit at that point.
Here's a thought, okay? Jail is not the answer. Get the people help.
Oh, jeez.
You don't think they need psychological help?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, counseling, psychological help. Is jail actually the answer? In some cases, yes.
Well, ask Jake the Snake how rehab did for him, and
Finally worked.
Yeah.
Well, actually, DDP yoga helped
Yeah,
him.
imagine that. Yoga instead of rehab. Sorry, Jake. Don't mean to put you out there like that, but I don't know. That's a slippery slope, honestly. Rehab, because I've got a couple friends that are proud to be where they're at in their stage. You know, counting down how many months. One's a couple months, or not a couple months, but counting down their months, and then the other one's a little over a year, and then the other one's like 4 or 5 years, and that's a really tough thing to go through, and I don't know. I don't think I could really. I don't know. Like I said, I would be really pissed if I found out that my kid was dealing drugs, like the heavy stuff, because just to see what my friends that have gone through rehab go through. You know, the one drinks 10 gallons of coffee, the other one smokes 10 packs a day, and the other one drinks 8 barrels of whiskey all the time, because they went from that addiction to something else. You know, it messes people up bad.
Absolutely.
Long term, bad. So.
I've had friends that have drug problems. I just lost a friend who had a serious drug problem and battled it for years. My mentor in wrestling, Axel Rotten, rest in peace. He just couldn't beat his demons. And it's hard.
And to know that a friend or any of my kids is contributing to that would really upset me. But
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, the alphabet game. Actually had a viewer give a suggestion for this week's alphabet game. This game we play every week. For those of you listening for the first time, Google just changed their name to Alphabet because they do everything under the sun. This week's alphabet game is sponsored by SRQ Tattoo. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show and the game. Go down and see SRQ Tattoo. You can find a direct link off my website, briangouldshow.com. Go see Grim and the boys. They'll hook you up with a really good tattoo. Tell them Brian and Joe sent you. And anything you need, anything you want, any type of artwork, they'll freestyle it. Get there, bounce ideas off of them, bring in your own drawing. They do a phenomenal job. So go check out Grim and the gang down at SRQ Tattoo. Again, direct link on where they're located, and their work that they do is right on my website. Viewer wanted us to do the alphabet game with dead celebrity names.
Ooh!
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm thinking celebrity game on. Let's do it.
That might be a while, because how do we prove that they're dead? I mean...
Well, some of them are going to be a lot more obvious. And maybe
some of them will be, but we'll have to go with it and see.
All right. Well, we'll have you kick things off since you're defending champ. You dethroned me finally. I don't know how many games in a row I won, but...
I know. I finally won one.
I'll let the champ go first.
I'm on a roll. How about with A?
And you know what? I mean, it is what it is. They're dead, but I'd like to stay away from presidents if possible, but... Because they're really not celebrities, but they were presidents. But you know what? Fine. Forget it. We'll go with
we'll see what happens.
Dead famous people / celebrities. There we go.
That's I got fine. A, so I'm going to go with the newly departed Abe Vigoda, who I thought was dead years ago, and he must have come back to life and died again. But he is dead now.
Okay. And can you please tell me who the hell that is?
Abe Vigoda used to be on Barney Miller.
Oh, that guy. Yep.
The guy with the big ears.
Gotcha. Okay, yep. B. Let me go with James Brown.
C. Charles Schultz.
The old Peanuts. Yeah.
Peanuts guy.
D. Oh, wow. Daryl Dawkins. He just died.
He just died last year, didn't he?
Yep.
Chocolate Thunder. E. Ella Fitzgerald. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah. F. Since we're in the presidential reign, I'll go with Franklin D. Roosevelt.
I knew you'd dig a president up.
G.
Gee, let's stick with the presidents and George Washington.
H. Henry Ford.
Oh no.
I. Oh geez, here we go. Now one of those trick letters.
Oh no. This is gonna be tough. Ira Gershwin.
Oh.
Do you know who that is?
I have heard that name before.
Okay, I think he was a composer.
Yeah,
I know he had music.
J. Michael Jackson.
Wait, Jay, how are you doing?
First or last?
Jay. Oh, it's first or last.
Yeah, yeah.
Now the rules changed.
No.
Now the rules changed, huh?
I just did one earlier with the last name that started with that letter.
Wow.
Celebrities with the name.
Okay.
First or last name.
Okay.
I apologize.
No problem.
K.
K. No, he's not dead. Henry Kissinger. We can go with the last names.
L. Michael Landon.
Little House on the Prairie. Did you watch that show?
Loved that show as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
M.
M. Is Mary Tyler Moore still alive? Yeah, she's still alive. Groucho Marx.
N. Is Nancy Reagan still alive?
Yeah. That's who. No, she's dead.
She is dead.
I think she's dead. We might have to.
All right, we're gonna take a timeout here and find out. Let's see. Nancy Reagan.
You hear that?
Nancy Reagan.
I think she died last year.
Come on, Google, work.
According to Wikipedia, Nancy Davis Reagan is a former actress and the widow of the 40th President of the United States, Ronald Reagan.
She's still alive.
She's still alive.
Get the hell out of here.
Apologies to Nancy Reagan.
Whoops.
Wait, there was a Nancy Reagan that did die, though. And everybody thought it was her. But go ahead. Go again.
N. Oh, boy. Yikes.
I know. It's a hard
dead
one.
one. That's a tough one. And I'm sure there's people listening. They're like screaming out names right now, like rolling off their tongue.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is Bob Newhart still alive?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought he just died.
All right, let's find that out. Wow, this is horrible.
I know. We apologize, folks.
Bob Newhart.
According to Wikipedia, George Robert Newhart is an American stand-up comedian and actor.
He's still alive.
He's still alive.
86.
Wow.
All right. Should we just scrap N and say nobody got it?
Oh, man. We can.
Oh, that's horrible.
I know. We can't think of one person that's dead with the letter N.
Okay, well, you get O. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yikes. I actually have one.
Do you? Oh, man. This is harder than I thought. Charles Nelson. No, that's not right. It's not O'Reilly. Oh, man.
5.
Oh, come
4.
on.
3. 2. 1. Oscar Robinson.
You know, I was looking for Oscars and I just couldn't think of the guy's name.
I get P. Paul McCarthy.
He's still alive. Paul McCartney is still alive.
Paul McCartney.
It's the rest of the Beatles that are gone.
Yeah, they're all dead except for him.
No, George is still alive.
That's right.
What is P?
Yeah. Yikes.
This is a hard game.
It's hard with just dead ones.
Yeah.
It's specified even more so.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Phyllis Diller.
Who?
Phyllis Diller.
Okay.
She was an old comedian.
I'll give it to you. You get S.
I get S. Oh, we'll go with
Wow.
help me out
5,
here.
4, 3,
Sam Houston.
2. Oh, jeez. Sam Houston. All right.
He was the old Western guy.
Yeah. T. Thomas Edison.
Wow.
Keep it simple. U. You get U.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
You.
U.
You. No, you. Oh man. I'm drawing a blank. Here it is, 10:30 in the morning, 11:30, and I'm drawing a blank. Can't think yet.
You know what? I actually have one.
Do you?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'll give you a countdown. 5, 4.
Just steal it, because
Okay,
I don't
steal.
have it.
Irsay Hussein.
Who?
Saddam's son.
Was he a celebrity, though?
Well-known person, yeah.
Was he a celebrity?
Yeah. You want me to Google
Saddam
this?
Hussein's son.
Yeah, because he was murdered because they were trying to find...
But that's what made him the celebrity.
He was well known
If he
in
was a
Iraq.
celebrity. Okay, I'll put a question mark around that one, but...
If it comes down to
Okay.
1 point,
Okay.
V, you get...
No, it's
No,
you.
I get V.
It's you.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dyke is his last name.
Van Dyke is his last name. It's not a middle name.
Van could be a middle name.
I think it's like Dick William Van Dyke or something weird like that. Dick Van
Okay,
Dyke.
I'll give it to you. Oh, this is hard. I
You get
hate
Y.
this
Or no,
thing.
sorry, W. You're on
Right.
W.
George Washington.
You used it twice. Y. I get Y.
Yeah, why? Man.
Good call on the dead celebrity
This-
alphabet game here. Why?
Somebody call and phone a friend. I don't have anything. I'm trying to go through all the names in my head.
Actually, you know what? Y is not next. We had W.
Now I'll pick George Washington.
W. X. I get X. I'm just looking at that right now.
You get X. and
Malcolm
I get
X.
Y. That wasn't his real name.
That was his name
Get
when he
out-
died.
get
I just
outta
looked at
here.
that. Malcolm
Get
X.
out of
You
here.
get Y.
That wasn't his
Sorry
last
about your luck. That was his non-slave name, Malcolm X.
non-slave name.
Yep.
Give me a break.
Come on.
You
You got this. You get Y, and then I get Z. Ooh.
I know. Gives you time to think. Man, we should have extra time, but we'd be here forever.
Yeah, we're already at 30 minutes now.
I can't think of a Y. Yvonne DiCarlo
Good job. Wow, you pulled that one out of nowhere.
from the Addams Family.
Mm-hmm.
Z. You got Z.
I've got Z.
Thank God I don't have to think anymore. My brain hurts. Oh, Z. ZZ Top? No, their career's dead. But
I want to see. Wow, Z.
don't know. You might have to give a little scratch off on that one. Instead of stealing, just call it zip.
Call it.
Call it.
All right, final score. Joe, 11. Brian, 12.
Get out of here! I lost again. There's no way I lost again. You didn't get Z.
And
You better count
none of us
down
got N. We had 2 letters up on the board that neither one of us got.
And how
Actually,
did I lose?
it's because I'm the man.
Really?
Yep. Alphabet Champ is back on top.
Help us out. Call somebody. Leave a message with the letter N.
N and Z.
Give us some names that we missed.
We missed a few of them.
And for those of you that think it's so easy, try sitting in front of a computer with somebody and coming up with the names. It's really not an easy game.
Well, thank you for the recommendation on dead celebrities or famous people for the alphabet game. Give me a shout and let me know what you want next week's topic to be on for the game. Thank you again, SRQ Tattoos, for sponsoring the show and the game. So one more shout out to those guys. Get this all wrapped up. Anything else you want to go over?
I still suck at the alphabet game.
Well, if you wanted the record for the most losses, you do have that.
I studied.
Yeah, you studied.
I studied.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the show. Head over to my website, briangouldshow.com. All the links you need are there. Also, hit up the store and get some cool gifts and T-shirts from there. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.